All right, I'd like to call the August 4th meeting of the Police and Fire Commission to order. Let the record show Commissioners Shaw, Nelson, and Goldhahn are present. And that is a quorum. First item is approve the amended minutes from the meeting held on May 5th, and the minutes from the meeting on June 2nd, and the special meeting that held June 14th. So all those minutes were in your packet. Any questions or issues with them?
So moved.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve all three.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Nelson to approve all three sets of minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. President's report. Just want to comment over the last few months. It's been a good time to be part of the protective services in Green Bay. When I look at some of the things that have come out, and it's all been positive. For the fire department, it starts with the insurance rating, and the top insurance rating in the state. All the Wings of Life summaries that the chief forwards to all of us. You guys hosting both the union convention as well as the chiefs convention here in town, which got a lot of positive press for us. And then the neat things about Sigel's book, and then also the gravestone presentation for the first firefighter killed in the line of duty 120 years ago or so. So a lot of good things happening from there. The police department, the crime rate, the inspection day, great result from that. People are feeling good. The foundation being created, the community relations work that you're doing, and the good comments that are coming back from groups in the city. So all in all, from both sides, the protective services in Green Bay feel good about being part of that group. So congratulations to you guys and your departments, and keep up the good work.
Well, thanks for all your support too throughout this whole thing. You guys have been great. We really appreciate the support from the commission.
Okay, so now we'll go with the chief reports. We'll start with you, Rob, since we've got a lot of other things to cover
Sure.
with the police
Yep.
afterwards.
Absolutely. Just really briefly, kind of ramping things up as far as our Packer season preparations go and getting things back in full swing there. That always puts a little bit more of a strain on things, but had the family night event. That went very well. It's always a good test for what's about to happen. But the budget is in full swing, and kind of doing the preliminary work for that and just making sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Everything looks fine there. The one thing that we're kind of coming up on very quickly here, this month marks the 10-year anniversary of when we lost Lieutenant Wolf. And so we're putting together a training program that kind of looks back at where we were versus where we are, the changes that we made, and the things that we've done to modify our operation and improve across the board, from not just internally, but new science behind firefighting and so on that's been recently developed and tested thoroughly on a level that's never been done before. So we've kind of going full gamut from where we were then to where we are now with all kinds of new information. So we're going to be rolling that out, and we've actually been asked to address it to some degree at some statewide conventions and so on, just an explanation of how we handled it in that time frame and what we changed. So looking forward to doing that and completing that. And other than that, everything is really going very well and running smoothly. So that's really all I have.
All right. Any questions for Chief? All right, well, with that, I think that's the last agenda item that will require you, although I do have one question that I was going to talk about during the budget spreadsheet. We're at about, for Police and Fire Commission in total, we're at about 85% spending for the year. And so one of the things I was going to ask is us to kind of do a look forward to see if we're going to still make the end of the year. Now, most of the fire spending is already done from the recruiting class. I don't know if there's other things that you see.
I don't know that we've
coming
been
on.
billed yet for Fox Valley's process. I don't
Okay,
think
that
we
was one of my
have
questions,
yet.
if there are any bills that
So
haven't
that'll
come
be
through
upcoming.
yet. But any of the recruiting costs will be in next year's, after the first of the year, we start advertising.
You're moving up
now.
the academy.
We're moving it up, yep. But without looking exactly at the dates
Okay.
yet, I would guess that the majority of it will fall into next year.
Okay,
But I can't say for sure that 100% of it will
okay,
be
all
next
right.
year.
Just wanted to get a sense of that. Okay, good, thank you.
Right. Thank you very much.
All right, now the police.
Okay, so I told you a little bit about the horse detail that we're looking at, that we're really excited about. Our contract got settled, and July 1st we started, the contract was enacted. I don't believe it's actually been formally signed, but we started meeting with the lieutenant's contract, and the lieutenants have tentatively agreed to the proposal that we gave them. So that, I think that should be really pretty smooth. It's basically the same thing that the officers got. I've been sending out those updates on Monday. I hope those are helpful. If there's too much information there, I could pare it down a little bit. But I thought it's all interesting stuff, and you can skip some of the videos if you want. I did a big blog thing for a half hour yesterday with some bloggers on the other side of the river, and you can skip over that. I'll include it, but it might make for a good insomnia cure. I talked to the mayor this morning about increasing the number of sworn. During one of the city council meetings, Tom Duane said, hey, if you guys, the police and fire, need something more to more effectively police or protect the city, or looking at contingencies that happen, let us know. Here's the thing, so come up with a list or whatever. And really, the only thing I can think of for that would be to increase our number of officers. We've talked about that many times in the past. I know we were close on other times. We're at 192 authorized. Right now, we're at about 188, I think. And that's because they wanted to stay below the 192 so they could meet the budget restraints. We had $370,000 that they wanted us to make up in savings. We did that by not hiring that many people. I talked to the mayor today about bumping that up. I said, my perfect world, we'd be up close to 200. He said, well, let's look at maybe next year going up to 196, and then the year after that, we'll bump it up to 199 if we can do it. So he said, put that in your budget request. We'll see if it flies. That'll depend, I suppose.
Were you still able to cover all the hours even?
I think so. We had to call some folks in, we reached the minimum staffing, went below minimum staffing, so we call people in, and the union calls us pretty closely on it. If it goes below, they let us know pretty
So
quickly.
you save more with, by not having to pay benefits?
Right, we had, I think we were down to 184 from 192, so we were down about 8 spots, so we didn't have to pay anything. Now, Matt Kane got a position, and we talked about that last time, going up, he left already to go to the War College, and he'll be gone for almost a year, so that'll save us the savings, his cost savings. And he'll be making, I think, what the colonel pay out there, so he'll be doing okay, I suppose. So that's kind of where we are as far as the staffing. Just a couple things that Bring Your Own 5 is continuing every Saturday. We're out there playing. The final game is going to be on the 20th of August. We're going to be playing against some Milwaukee police officers, and then again, the journalists that have been coming out have put together a team of journalists, the photographers, and the camera guys, so they're going to want to play us. So that'll be on the 20th over at Fisk Park. We had 2 protests this past month. Black Lives United came out to the front of the station on 2 occasions. We met them out there, very low-key. They seemed pretty positive, although they are very vocal. They came out the second time with about 100 people, about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I went out there and waited till they got done chanting about police and that, and then we started up a dialogue with them. We called in Pastor Green, Deacon Terry. They came down and had a dialogue, and we in fact invited them to come to our Community Advisory Board meeting over at the Divine Temple, which they did. They showed up with about a half a dozen folks, and the meeting went real well. We invited them to become part of our Citizens Academy, so we had 3 of them apply for our Citizens Academy. All 3 are felons, so we had to kind of look at when they were arrested and what that was. We had to make sure that they're not going to handle any firearms, which is part of that. So, but 2 out of the 3 of them, I think we can have drug possession years ago mostly, but one of them, our department arrested as recently as earlier this year, so we think we're going to hold off on that fella and have him come maybe next time. So we should have 2 of them in the meeting. We have an open carry advocate from the east side over here by Joannes Park who had his house burglarized. He lost 3 firearms from his house. He's been a very vocal guy on the police department, and he's going to be a part of the Citizen Police Academy too. So hopefully that'll get him better acquainted with the officers that we have here and improve the relationship that we have with him.
Should be an interesting academy.
I think so, yeah, we're up to 30 people, so it's gonna be interesting, yeah, that should be fun.
Have to go back through it as a past graduate.
I know.
Yeah, did you all go through it? Did you? Yeah. So that's kind of an update of where we are. I think, looking forward to the Police Foundation on the 12th, which should be a great thing. Maybe in the middle of February, we're looking to do a more formal dinner type of thing. This will be just stand-up hors d'oeuvres and titled-down beer and a chance to meet some of the officers. I'm bringing in the K-9 unit, of course, the horse detail. We're bringing in a couple of explorers, maybe a SWAT officer to show all the stuff that we have and all the stuff that we need. One other thing, we had a prisoner escape from the county, a mental health thing right near our house up on the east side. And that was a bit of a concern for me because we don't have helicopters, obviously. We don't have anything that has the capability of forward-looking infrared. So in my perfect world, we'd have something that could fly over there and look at this giant cornfield and say, there's the hot spot. It's either a deer bedded down or it's our suspect hiding out here. Well, they found him in Chicago, 2 weeks later. But it made me think it would be really neat if we had bloodhounds to track guys like that. Because a bloodhound could follow that guy wherever he goes and find him. We did use our tracking dog, but it had been several hours. There was some rain that fell. So our dog, a dual-purpose dog, didn't do a terrific job. But again, he went out there 4 or 5 hours after, and it was after the county tried to find him with their dog. So we're looking to see if anybody around, any volunteers around have bloodhounds that are trained that could use them. And I'm not thinking so much escaped prisoners as lost children or lost seniors or, an Alzheimer's patient or a dementia patient wanders away from a nursing facility. It'd sure be nice to be able to get a bloodhound, have them start and track them to wherever they are. We had them in Los Angeles. They were all volunteers. They'd come in with their dog in the car, dressed in khakis with their little hat on, and it was amazing what they do. And they could follow.
As a hunting dog would be trained, or would they be trained differently?
Trained as a tracking dog. So that's what bloodhounds were bred for, is to track people or track
With all the
animals. I guess.
hunters, it would be the same, or?
I don't know if
I don't know if like a bear dog would be the same or not, but I like the idea
Yeah.
of looking for volunteers, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that are willing to say, sure.
Yeah, as long as they have a dog that's good and trained and they can respond when we need them and they don't charge us an arm and a leg. But I think it'd be terrific to have a bloodhound like that, especially, if you're a parent and your child wanders away from home, boy, it'd sure be great to let the dog sniff a kid's sock and then, let the dog go. They're literally amazing to watch because they'll hit on that path. I've seen them in crowded downtown Los Angeles go over hills, around corners, over over sidewalks, over roads, right to the suspect's house, and a mile away, half a mile away anyway. So they're really amazing. And in a field, or an open field, like a cornfield,
Cornfield or a
it'd be
wooded area?
it'd be easy.
Now, I don't know how many private chopper pilots we have around town with choppers, but I think it's probably more than we think.
Yeah.
And they may even be interested in something like that as well.
There's one outfit that used to work, they did medical flights, I think, and I forget what the name of their, we called them, they no longer have the forward-looking infrared, but then I did run into a Wisconsin Highway Patrol guy, and they have a aircraft posted down here at the airfield, and they said they can be up in as little as 15 minutes. So I didn't know that day, it's a fixed wing, but that might be enough, and if he could get a infrared thing, wouldn't work during the day, but of course at night we'd be in good shape.
That helicopter that used to land in the hospitals, Flight for Life, does that still exist?
Well, yeah, I think those do, but I meant just private citizens that have choppers.
They won't fly because he's a prisoner that's escaped, and they're worried that he would arm himself and use a weapon against the pilot, or against the aircraft.
What does a radar unit cost?
They have, I think it's all different ones. I've seen them that mount on the front of the helicopter that are, tens of thousands of dollars, but they have handheld ones now that are supposed to be pretty good. So, I don't know, could be just a few $1,000s for a handheld one. I know some of the local agencies, I think Ashwaubenon has a handheld unit that they can use. And I've seen them that mount at the top of police vehicles, and you can use those if you got a wooded area, you turn it on at night and you can see if there's anything or anybody hiding in there.
Well, and I think several years ago, P&G bought one of the first units for the fire department. So I know they've got the small handheld units to use in smoke-filled rooms.
Maybe we should borrow, maybe we'll see if those work in an outdoor situation like that. So, interesting stuff for us.
All right. Any other questions for the chief?
Good job.
All right. Next item is review of patrol officer candidates. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 2 Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Nelson, seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in closed session. All right, the commission is back into open session. During closed session, we reviewed 8 candidates. 3 of those candidates requested to be removed from the process because they had taken positions with other jurisdictions. We agreed to that. 4 candidates were rejected from continuing in the process, and 1 candidate was continued in the hiring process. Next items, communications, our budget status report and spreadsheet. All those were physicals and psychological reviews for a hiring process. The one item that stood out was that we're halfway through the year, but we've spent 85% of our budget. So Jen, if your staff could look into that and just kind of see if you think we're going to be okay for the year or if not. And it seems like we always now, we've also hired chiefs in the last couple of years or every other year, so that would naturally cause us to go over when we weren't expecting it. But in general, we probably should take a look and see if that 20 grand a year is right, or if we should bump that up at budget setting time for this next year. Any other questions on the spreadsheets? If not, I'll entertain a motion to receive and place on file.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Nelson.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And bills, similarly, the physicals and psychiatric evaluations. Any questions?
Pretty normal.
If not, authorization to pay.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let's pay the bills. Next meeting date will be September, I didn't write that down.
September. Isn't that crazy?
September 1st. Any issues for folks? Okay.
Said it went too fast.
September 1st at 3 o'clock.
That's not Labor Day.
No, that.
Oh, I'm
It's a
thinking
Thursday
Monday, no,
before,
never
isn't it?
mind, never mind.
Yep, Labor Day's the 5th, yep. All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Nelson,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned.
We have any interviews coming up?